Today we're coming at you with the Wonder of the Seas. We're
Yes.
going to let you know. We went on the Wonder of the Seas for spring break. We want to know, is this still worth it? Like, it came out in 2022 and it's a couple of years old now. Does it still have that wow factor? The topics that we're going to cover in this video is going to be about the stateroom, the food, kids club, teens club, the activities on board, and would we actually go again?
Would we? I don't know. So come on, sit back, relax, and take a look and see what we have to say about the Wonder of the Seas, and is it worth it today?
Yes, we are on the couch. You
Yes.
know what it means when we're on the couch. We're doing that review. So here we go.
Let's go.
Let's get right into it. We booked a stateroom balcony suite, not a suite, but just the regular standard balcony. And this was for 4 people in this room.
Yes.
Okay. When we always try to go for a balcony. The reason is because we do have 4 people. We like that balcony gives us just a little bit extra space.
Just enough.
Just enough that we don't feel like we're all on top of each other, especially when we're getting dressed and things like that. When you enter the room, I will say it was a decent sized room, the normal average sized room for a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. Yes, we've been on bigger with Disney, and the room size is a lot bigger and more spacious, but for Royal, it was standard.
New standard.
We had a bed, we had the pull-out couch where it pulls out, and then both boys sleep. So they did have their own space for that. But other than that, that's where they slept.
Yeah.
And the bathroom was perfect because it had a glass shower door, which I like. I hate when they have those shower curtains.
I mean, do they even still make the shower curtain?
I don't know, but I've been on cruises where they had the shower curtain, and that was so nasty when it touches you. Like,
Yeah.
and the glass makes it feel like it's a little bit bigger.
It does. I
Yeah.
definitely say that.
And then the balcony was a decent size for our normal standard balcony.
Yeah.
Do I feel like the room was big enough for us?
I have something to say about that. So again, like Brizette said, it's 4 of us. It's my son, which is 14. The other is 11. So their pull-out couch turns into a bed. Like, you literally pull out the bottom and becomes a bed. It's kind of like, what is a day bed? No, it's a day bed. I don't know.
It's
I
like
have no
that.
idea. But I found, because I'm always the one that gets up really early in the morning, and usually goes to bed really late at night. I found when that bed is pulled out, there's no room between the bed that's on the floor and the refrigerator, the desk with the chair, the drawers. Pretty much everything at that point on that side of the room is done.
Yeah.
Unless you're hopping on the bed, walking across the bed, which Carter did not
He
like.
hates that. Like, don't walk on my bed with your dirty feet.
Yeah, don't do it. So the only thing that you had to do is, like, if you didn't pull the bed completely out, and it all depends on the size of the kid. If it's not pulled out completely, then you have just enough room to, like, kind of like just move across the side. So I would say, like, the room size when it came to like 4 people at night, it is tight.
I will say that I like the way Disney does it. Disney has, like, its bunk beds and one pulls out. So you always have that open space. You don't feel like you're like squished in a room. So Disney, if you're going with a family of 4, it's perfect.
Well, let me ask though, because we got a deluxe balcony room at Disney.
But all of them had like the pull out. So it was that I did enjoy that.
Wow.
And I do enjoy their bathrooms because they give you 2 bathrooms.
It was
but
2
back to Royal. So that was okay. I will say, if you are staying in the room, things that you can get to make your stay a little bit more nicer for you. Do packing cubes. Packing cubes make your life easier because you just unpack it, put it in the drawer. I zip it open, and then you just live out that packing cube.
Yeah.
So you're not wasting time doing that. The other things that made our stay easier was we had a bunch of magnet hooks, and then we were able to put the hats on there. We were able to put like lanyards on there, bags and stuff like that. So that kept a lot of stuff off of the floors
and off
the dresses.
Yeah.
So a lot more needed for that. So those are 2 big things I'll say that made our stay a little bit more easier.
Yeah.
Now you have to be mindful now that you only get to pick. Our stateroom guy never asked us, but you're supposed to pick. What would you like? Turn down service, like you only get 1 service a day. So in the morning time or at night. Ours never came by to ask us which one we preferred. So we never even got a choice. It was just like he came in the afternoon. So as far as the stateroom attendant and the service goes, I would say that I wasn't too pleased with it. I don't know if he was just really tired, but he was just not the best when it came to attention to detail and making sure that the room was presentable. When we first walked in the room, we noticed that the toilet was dirty, the towels were dingy. I'm a towel girl. Like, I like fresh white towels. I know you cannot be too picky, but if you're paying a certain amount for something, you expect to have decent stuff, especially when you say something and then they bring out the nice towels.
Like, where were they hiding?
Why couldn't you just do that in the first place? But anywho, he did not vacuum at all the whole time. So little things that were just very frustrating to me. And we are very nice when it comes to being in the room. Like, we make sure that the boys make up their beds. We make up our bed. We put the towels neatly in a pile. So it's not like we're messy people and it's just like, I have to deal with these people. We're really sweet, and we try to be very kind and courteous to our stateroom attendant. I will say with the room as well, just being a couple of years old, I was kind of disappointed that the carpet was already looking like it needs to be replaced. Now just to let you know, we were on deck 6, and I'm pretty sure like that really shouldn't matter in this case here, but we were on deck 6 on the boat in our room. And we did notice that. That was the first thing that Chase did notice. Like, there was a couple of scuffs on the TV, a couple of nicks and stuff like that on the dresser furniture. Because it's expected. It's a boat and it's going out. It's going out. It's constantly being used, and people are coming and going, and not everyone's going to be gentle with stuff. No, they're just not. But you can tell it's been wear and tear on the room. But it's only been 3 years. So that's kind of one thing when we walked in, we were like, it's definitely being used. So we would say, even though the size of the room was decent when that bed wasn't out, we started noticing a little bit of wear in the room, which kind of is like, oh, this is supposed to be a new cruise though, it should be nice, but for that it was just like so if I had to rate the room from 1 to 10, I would give it maybe like a strong 6.5, 7. I was just about to say about a 7 out of 10 because the balcony is always the selling point where I like for balconies, and outside of that, the room, again, when the bed was in, there was plenty of room for all 4 of us to move around. And the size of the room didn't bother me. It was the cleanliness and the tidiness and our stateroom attendant that kind of put a damper for me on the room. Correct. So now we're full right in the category of the service of the room. So now let's move on to food. What you got in food? All right. So there are several options for you when you're on this cruise ship. The main one is going to always be Windjammer, where you can go get food, which is included in your cruise ship. Then you have the main diner hall, which is also included in your fees. You have Solarium, which is another free one. You have the pizzas. What is it called? Sorrento's Pizza, everybody which is knows everybody's favorite. Well, our kids' favorite. You have like a little dining area that's like a coffee shop downstairs on the promenade that's going to have like little snacks and stuff like that you can go like kind of like a grab and go. And there's some other areas on the cruise ship that they're going to have some free things. Now there are also things that you're going to pay for. Specialty restaurants. So you have Hooked, you have Wonderland. I just drew a blank. The Mason Jar. The Mason Jar. You have the Chops Steakhouse. You have Hibachi. And the Italian place, Giovanni's. And then there's the one we went to for dessert. The little Playmakers. And Johnny Rockets. And Johnny Rockets. You can't forget Johnny Rockets. So there's going to be some places you can pay for. Now, with the food, it's a buffet. It is a buffet. It's a buffet. I called it the Golden Corral on the sea. So lots of options on food. You're going to have breakfast there. There's going to be tons of options. We had things French toast, fresh made waffles, omelets, coffee and things like that, and just a bunch of treats. Now when you get into Windjammer, and they're going to be 2 sides. Both sides are exactly the same. You either go to the left or you go to the right. It's going to be the same. You said the seating in there, you felt like exactly. For Windjammer, I like the fact that even though sometimes, again, sea days and during lunch on sea days when everybody's hungry, I did notice sometimes it may take a little bit longer to find a seat, but for the most part, on this ship, on the Wonder, I noticed that it was not like super long waits to find a seat, or you have to keep walking around
3 or 4 times they'll kind of like do that hovering thing over people until they get up. That was not the case. And also a fun tip is that the servers or the waiters there, when they clean the tables, they actually help you too. They're actually like, hey, you looking for somewhere to sit? And they'll kind of find someone and say, hey, I'll clean this up. I got you. You come sit over here. So that's one thing that I've noticed. And also in the back of the Windjammer that overlooks the Central Park, in the area that does the zip line, there's seats back there.
Yes,
I didn't even know that. And it's quiet. It is quiet back there.
Quiet.
So that's something to consider.
And they were very clean. Like I will say that they're constantly wiping down areas. They're constantly wiping down where the food is, those areas. So that's a good thing. I will say that the only disappointing thing I found there was that for Carter, there was not a lot of vegan dessert options for him. There was Jell-O. Who wants Jell-O? Don't nobody want no Jell-O.
I know.
So, so that was hard for him because even on the promenade where you can go get cookies and stuff like that, there was no dessert options for him that he could have. And even at the all of the places that had ice cream. Now, he could get the ice cream cone. That was fine. That was no eggs in that. But if you wanted Johnny Rockets milkshake, it had eggs. If you wanted to go to the ice cream shop, had eggs.
The sorbet ice cream shop
had eggs. So everything. So that was just so frustrating. I will say if you are a parent and you have kids who have allergies, a quick tip is that you can go for breakfast and lunch in the main dining hall. And that's a good place to go because you don't have to worry about cross-contamination of a lot of things. Like they try their best, but humans are humans and they might be switching spoons. Someone picked up something. I did notice like in the kids section, they had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and everything is labeled. But if you're a kid and you just pick it up or you don't want it and you touch something else, if you're very sensitive to nuts and stuff like that, that could be a problem.
Yeah, big problem.
So you can go there, and we like to go there for breakfast and lunch because it just seems a little bit nicer, more attention. You get some more juices and stuff. In the Windjammer and main dining room, you do have access to lemonades, sweet tea, apple juice, and stuff like that. So it is not necessary to buy the drink package if you don't want to. If your family's accustomed to drinking water and juices, you'll fine. Just it's not going to add up for you, especially when that stuff is free. I will say bring a water bottle. We did bring water bottles, and the water is perfectly fine. Like it tastes fine. It doesn't have a bad taste or anything like that. So you can fill up your water bottle. They just actually use a cup to fill it up.
Correct. Now, what about the food? The food in the Windjammer.
Now, was fine. Breakfast was good. I like breakfast. Lunch and stuff like that, it was like, it was okay. Like hamburgers. They had stuff. I will say the tip is though to go where the international side is because the international side has like the flavor. So there was good flavor there. At nighttime, my favorite night to go is going to be the Caribbean night. Caribbean night is going to be where it's at. And you'll know Caribbean night because all the workers will get dressed and go upstairs to eat that food too. Because they're going to have the oxtails. They're going to have curry chicken, curry goat, all that stuff that you like, Caribbean style, roti and patties and festival. It's all there. So that's a really good night to go.
And another tip too is the international section upstairs.
That's what I said.
Oh, that's what you said. I'm sorry. I heard it and I was like, wait, did she say what I think she said? Because when she said roti, it triggered my mind again. I was like,
so go to that.
And
even like during the daytime, regular time, go there. So Windjammer was like a hit or miss. Again, breakfast was always good, but other times it was kind of like not very flavorful to me. Like the taste was lacking. The pasta was kind of bland. So it was okay. Main dining room, we did go there I think we went 3 nights out of our 3 or 4 nights.
4 nights. Yeah, 4 nights.
4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we went 4 nights and the wait staff was very helpful. Again, there, I'll put some pictures in of some of the foods we had, but it was okay. I felt like we've had better before, and we're going to get to the reason why I think we had better before, and it was just like, okay, the wait staff was amazing though. They were very trying to, give you suggestions on what to have. They had, again, you can get the Indian dish of the night, and that's usually always good, like the butter chicken and stuff like that. That's always going to be a good one.
Has good flavor. And that's what Carter sometimes always opted for, especially with the rotis, because that's why, again, roti stood up because he was going in with it. It was definitely going in.
And
the curry was really good
curry
too.
was good. They had steaks and stuff like that, but it was okay.
Yeah.
The dessert, there was only 2 desserts to me that stood out, and that was going to be the vegan brownie and the cheesecake. Those are the only 2 I like. The other ones, bleh. What about you?
The dessert that stood out the most was, again, yes, it was your cheesecake, and it was also the
and Carter's vegan
yes, I clicked the
apple tart. I was like, can we just get that?
Yeah, because that was the greatest thing, and that's a tip. We're talking about food, so this is a tip. When you go to the main dining hall, your servers and then the supervisors, once they figure out there's an allergy, they do talk to the chef, and the chef does prepare things, and they
separately,
which is great.
Yeah, they make sure there's no cross contamination. They bring your food out first. They do all those things. The only thing was the first night, because it is the first night. There was nothing that I think he had ice cream, like a sorbet or something like that. Some ice cream that he could have. He had that, but there was no vegan options, and if there was a vegan option, it had nuts with it, you know, and like, he can't have nuts, so it was just nuts. Like, oh God.
I know.
So it was a hit, but I will say the other nights, there was vegan cookies, and they made sure they bought us a lot of cookies, so we brought them back to the room. We had Ziploc bags, we put them in there, so then that allowed him to have things throughout the week that he could have. And they also brought him chocolate covered strawberries, which he absolutely loved.
Absolutely, we actually loved.
We loved. I will say that I wish they would go back to the like back in the day they used to have, where they have the molten lava cake every single night on the menu with the cheesecake, and that was just something you could always go to if you didn't like something. They don't offer that anymore. So it's only on one night that they offer that, which it sucks.
So for the food for the main dining, I would say I would give it honestly, I give it like a 6 out of 10.
The jammer, I would say like a 5.
Yeah.
4.
Well, here's the thing with Windjammer. I'll give Windjammer about a 6.5 out of 5. Only reason why is because at main dining you have your options, and that's it. Windjammer, you got several.
Some of the options.
You're gonna find something that's like, this will do.
But also at main dining, for people who don't cruise, you can order as many dishes as you want. So you don't have to just whatever you get, you're stuck with it. No, you can order something else, and they try to make you really happy. I don't know. All right, now off to the specialty restaurants. So there's Hooked. We only chose 2 of them. Usually we have really good food. No, we chose 3. Usually we have really good food, so we're like, oh, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do that. But we're really happy that we did do the 3 that we did. So the first one we did was Hooked, and that's a seafood theme. So it has seafood, lobster tail, steak, and I'm going to tell you, it's more flavorful than the lobster tail that you're going to get in the main dining hall. It has a lot more flavor. Like theirs is very it seemed like they just boiled it, no seasoning. This one is a lot better, and even the steak was too.
The steak was really good. It was more like a filet mignon. From what it felt like to me, but it was not. But it was really tender. It was really flavorful. And I got my medium, and they got it the correct temperature. The main dining was hit or miss. They really did try, but I understand there's so many people. But at Hooked, it was the correct temperature
and attention to detail. And they will make sure they push out the really expensive things. So what I did was, before we got on the cruise, I joined a Facebook group to make sure that I was up to date on when specials and sales were coming out. So if you're not a part of that, go on to Facebook, put in your cruise name, the date you're going, and there are going to be so many seasoned veteran cruise members or people on there who will tell you when things are happening. Like, hey, go on now, there's deals. So we found a deal for Hook, and I believe it was like $20 a person. And that was for lunchtime. We did it at a sea day, which was perfect. So you get in there, you get to have your appetizer, your main, a side, and a dessert. And I think they let you pick, like, if you wanted to choose more than one appetizer, you can. And he was like, no, try the Rockefeller shrimp. The Rockefeller oysters. Like, he was like, get the expensive stuff. Like, don't get no cheap stuff, you know. He was like, no, I'm going to bring you this. I'm going to bring you that. And I'm going to let you try that. And Michael was amazing, especially the Carter. Like, he got an extra big tip from us because he was so attentive to Carter to make sure that Carter felt comfortable, because it was a lot, again, that he couldn't have.
Yeah.
We picked the seafood because we were like, okay, he can have this and he can have that and he can have this. So,
and it's something that we all would enjoy.
yeah, we all enjoy.
Yeah.
So everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the oysters. The oysters are really good. I got the baked oysters. We got them 2 ways, and I messed up when I got it because I got it with the cheese. I forgot the cheese.
Feta cheese?
No, it was not feta cheese. It was goat cheese. I think it was goat cheese. Whatever the cheese was. And I don't like this cheese, and I don't know why I did it. But he did bring out another one. No, it wasn't even blue cheese. I can't remember what it is. I don't know, but it was that cheese. Whatever that is, I'll probably link it somewhere and let it pop up. But the other oysters that Carter got that didn't have much on there were really good and really flavorful. And Carter really enjoyed
He liked
those.
them.
He
I was
loved
like,
the oysters. Yeah,
I was shocked because me and textures, I was like, and he loved it. So he loved it. Yeah, that was good. And even Chase, I can't remember what Chase got. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do not get the lobster roll. Do not get the lobster roll. We saw someone who ordered the lobster roll and it looked disgusting. It looked like a hot dog bun. Not even a hot dog. It looked like a roll. It wasn't like the normal lobster buns that you normally see. Lobster rolls that you see with the butter and the nice roll and stuff. No, this was nasty. So don't order that.
All right, so if you go downstairs for food options and you go downstairs
You
during
get
the
those
hot
rolls.
dog,
Yeah.
it's the hot dog restaurant or stand in the boardwalk. Those rolls that you get, that was the roll that was
Yeah,
upstairs.
and it was
like,
grilled,
wow.
like it had grill marks on top, and then it wasn't even a lot of lobster in there, so don't get that.
Yeah, I would pass on that one. So we did I got the surf and turf. They got the lobster tails.
I got 2 lobster. Carter and I both got 2 lobster tails. He got French fries. I was supposed to get lobster mac and cheese. It didn't come out, but I was full. And then Chase got fish and chips.
He got the fish and chips.
Yeah, and everybody loved everything. And I think Chase ordered something else he had ordered lobster tails and he didn't care for the lobster tails, so I ended up eating his. And then the waiter brought him fish and chips out again. And then for dessert, I had the chocolate cake. You had a chocolate cake. I had the brownie. And then Chase had lemon tart or something like that. And I like the brownie. It was really rich. It wasn't like the best brownie I had at all, but it was decent.
Yeah.
And you had yours was you liked yours.
Yeah, I did like mine. I was like, wait, I love mine.
Yeah,
mine are really
yours.
good. And I had a scoop of ice cream with mine too. It was on point.
Yeah, and Chase said his was okay.
Yeah.
So on a 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it like a 9.
Yeah, I would definitely get hooked a 9, and that was just based off, honestly, the lobster tails.
Lobster tails was great.
The butter was on point, and the steak was on point.
Yeah,
so.
and if you go, if your waiter, he'll offer you like 50% off if you want to come back. And I wish we would have taken advantage of that.
I know.
Especially that last night. I was like, why didn't we do that? Anywho.
Yeah, now let's move
Go
on.
to Hooked.
Well, yeah.
Wonderland. We went to Wonderland. Wonderland was a fun experience. Wonderland is very pricey. I think it was like $230, $239 or something like that. So it is very pricey, but you're paying for the experience.
It is all about the experience.
Yeah, you're paying for like this whole ambiance that they're going to give you. So when you first get there, you go into downstairs. Everybody's dressed up like they're in Alice in Wonderland. The kids loved it. You sit down and you get a menu and you paint it so you can see the menu. The appetizers, you don't have to worry about picking any appetizer because you're going to get all of them.
You're getting all of them.
They're going to do like from fire, ice, wind, sun, whatever.
Yeah.
All of those elements. So you're going to start out with, they're going to bring you the egg. And the egg is gonna sorry, let me rewind. First, the kids get theirs first. And the kids got a Shirley Temple with cotton candy on top. And then they got a fruit salad with cotton candy on top. So like, they were like, yep, this is it. This is the place. Let's come here every night.
Yeah.
So they did that. That was great. And then Chase got these fish sticks. Now, they was very limited of what Carter could have, but they really worked with what he could have. You know, so they were very. They would say, "Oh, you can have this. You can't have that." So if you have allergies, again, they're paying attention and they're making sure that you don't get sick.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stop you guys right here on this one. We actually made a full video to Wonderland. I'm gonna make sure that it pops up right here so you guys can take a look at that.
Because that was a really good one. It was fun. And it explains everything we had. So we sat down, then we had some eggs, which were like, they were wet eggs. Didn't like it. It was like smoky wet eggs, but they were wet. Then they brought out this little shot glass thing and it had tomato something in it.
Yeah, it was kind of like I don't know what it was. I drank mine, and you're supposed to shake it up.
Yeah, shake it.
But really, the greatest thing, like you said, was like the experience of it, because stuff was like popping out left and right.
It was you're going really for the experience, trying new things, and for the experience. Then they brought out this thing. It's like tomatoes and feta cheese and stuff like that. And then some shrimp thing wrapped in noodles, which was really good. Then they brought out lobster bisque with caviar on top, and Carter, everybody loved that. That was like one of our favorites. And then you get to your main meal, which I got, what do you get? Ribs, roasted ribs and stuff like that.
Short ribs, the braised short ribs.
Braised short ribs and mashed potatoes. And all three of us got that.
And I got the
soup or something.
It was not soup. It was a fish. It was, I forgot the type of fish. Ooh, I forgot already. But it was grilled. It was seared, but then it was made in a bag with potatoes. So that was a different taste, but it was like a broth, a soup broth, and it had some good flavor to it. So I would give it that. And again, for dessert, we got the ball with the chocolate. And I was like,
and then some weird one with like not marshmallows. What's that thing called? What's the shape?
It's like a gelatin kind of like
but what
mushroom.
was it? A mushroom, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what is this? And that was kind of weird.
It was weird. It didn't really have great flavor to it, but the other one was really good. It was really rich, so you can only eat a couple of spoonfuls. And then Carter, they brought him out the chocolate ball with the caramel sauce.
And he was like,
what? I had what's that stuff? Cotton candy and this?
They were done.
Let's come back every night.
They were done.
And then Chase had sorbet. So the desserts were really fun.
Yeah.
It made up for the desserts that we missed out on the other ones. So what do I rate that one? I rate it like from a 1 to 10. I'm gonna give it like a 6. Maybe like a 7. I like the experience. I like the fun of it. I didn't care for too many things. It more probably was like a texture thing for me. So I'd give it like maybe like a 7, but it was fun for the kids to go.
Yeah, I think I gave that on our video. I think I gave it like a 7 out of 10, and I'm still sticking by that 7 or 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I like the fact that everything was popping out. I just like the way that felt.
Yeah, would you go again?
I would go again. I'm still sticking to it. I would go to
Hooked again over that one.
Yeah.
If I had to. But the price is very pricey, so I probably wouldn't do it again. Yeah. All right, and then we also went to
Playmakers. We don't have footage from this, but
we have a little bit from the dessert and us playing the games.
Yes, we actually do. Oh, look at that. We do. I forgot about that. So Playmakers is kind of like, like it's not a pub, but it's kind of like your Taco Mac. If you guys are familiar with Taco Mac, you get some wings, you get some fries, you get beers, you get some juices, some Sprites, whatever the case may be, you get.
And it's on the boardwalk, so you have that stuff going around.
Yeah, and all in the back. It's sports. TV with sports, which was great. In this case here, I got the jerk wings,
and then we got dessert. We just went there for the last cruise night. We decided not to go to main dining room. There was nothing on the menu that we really cared for, so we kind of let everybody just pick what they wanted to pick the last night. So we decided like, okay, Carter. We all went upstairs to Windjammer and got like shrimp and stuff like that, and that was a story. And then we got some other stuff, and then we decided to go there after we dropped the kids off. Yeah. And it was fun. I remember the dessert being a lot better the last time.
Yeah, and the wings as well too. Even though I didn't get the same flavor, I think I got maybe just regular buffalo wings last time. It did seem a little bit different. It seemed a little bit smaller, and then like Brizette said, the dessert didn't seem as gooey. Good. The campfire cookie is what we got, and it didn't feel as gooey and like it was last time. So honestly, for that one, I know this is a quick one, but I'm saying maybe like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, it was like a 3. It wasn't where it was before. It was fun just to go to do something different.
Yeah.
All together, I would say that I feel like Royal Caribbean's really pushing people to do these extra dining things, like to book the meal plan and things like that, because the food used to be a lot better at the main dining room. It was something you look forward to, but now because they count all these specialty restaurants, I feel like the food is just okay there, and they're pushing people to pay for these extra meals, which is not fair, because if you're a family of 4, the cruise already is expensive, and you go on cruises because you want to have that, to be able just to go to main dining hall and have this experience, or main dining room have this experience, go to Windjammer, go to these places and just be able to eat there. But now they're pushing you because the food is not it's just okay.
Yeah.
But if you go here, it's better. And you
I
go
know.
here, or if you buy a $300 package, it's expensive, you
Yeah.
know, for all of us to go, you know. But it's almost like the next time I feel like we might opt into buying that because the food at the other places was just okay.
It's so, yeah. And I know this is all about the wonder of the seas, but honestly, like when we're looking at all these rest of these ships, these specialty restaurants are popping up mostly on all of the new ships. So it's kind of like the way that it's going right now, you know?
And when you compare the price that we paid for Wonderland and for Hooked, once you pay for that, you could pay for, you know, some other ones for you just to get the meal plan and, you know,
just call it a day. Overall for food and all in totality for Wonder of the Seas, and this is again, these are the restaurants that they have on all of them, I would maybe give it like a strong 6 out of 10.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I wasn't terribly impressed. And again, because of the vegan options for Carter, it just put a damper on things. So, okay, now on to Kids Club. I know that was long, but food is important.
It is very important.
Okay, so Kids Club. Carter had a blast. Carter loved the Kids Club. There's nothing more to say. There was always activities for them to do. We always went during the evening time after dinner, and he made sure the waiter knew. Can you bring mine out first?
He has to eat first. Yeah,
I'm going to Kids, and they were very good about that. The line, there was never a time that he couldn't get into Kids Club. I think there was one time we had to wait just a little bit for some people to leave, and then he got in, but it was fine. Now, I will say, Royal Caribbean, I got a bone to pick with you. You guys think you're so slick. You put Gaga Ball and all the activities that the kids want to play at 10 o'clock. Well, what happens after 10? You got to pay.
You got to pay that money.
Yeah, so after 10, from 10 till 1 in the morning, you pay $10 per hour to stay. But that's when all the great activities, that's when they want to stay. So Carter usually would stay until 11 at night each night. And he had, midnight.
Yeah, he stayed till midnight a couple of nights.
He said to midnight, so because he was like, Gaga Ball and this and that, and they were having a ball. So, you know, we were like, fine, just stay. So he loved that. That was the only downside, was that, you know, after a certain time you do have to pay, and all the fun stuff is during that time.
Correct. And that's across the ships in general.
But we pay it
because that's what it is. Now, I would say on the Wonder of the Seas, the Kids Club, the size of the Kids Club
is a lot bigger.
It's bigger. And you can see from here, when we walked in, that's the first thing Carter and Chase said, because he was going to the Kids Club as well. It's like the back area just seemed like it doubled. And they had more gaming stations. They had more areas for them, that like chairs and like beanbag kind of things to kind of relax and chill with. So I think that was all worth it.
I mean, it was worth it. And even like the little kids area, like they had, I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, for babies you are going to pay a certain fee, but for kids who are potty trained and stuff like that, those areas, even if you were just wanting to come down there and have your kids just run around, there's like a little indoor play area, which was really nice, so they can do that and just play, and that's free. So there was a ton to do for kids, and all the kids thoroughly enjoyed themselves. I felt bad for kids who didn't go to the Kids Club, because they were like, oh no, I didn't go. And I'm like, you didn't go? And Carter's like, you missing out. So I would suggest, first day you get on the cruise, go ahead, get on the cruise, go straight there when you board, like after you maybe go to the slides and stuff, go there, sign them in, check them in, so when you are dropping them off, you don't have to do that, because that wastes time and stuff like that, and you're already checked in. And do that first thing. Don't not do that. Now on to the Teen Club. I was really disappointed in Royal Caribbean and Teens Club. This was the first time that we had to experience the Teen Club, and it was a lot different from us. We are not the parents who just say, get on the cruise ship and go do your thing, and we'll see you when we see you. Like, we want to know where you're at, what you're doing, kind of that you're in a controlled, supervised space, and this wasn't it. It was more like you check in when you want to, you kind of do your own thing. You can go to the Teens Club, but there's not a lot of activities that they were doing that kept them wanting to stay at the Teen Club. So you found that a lot of times there was teens roaming the cruise ship a lot. And if you're a parent, you kind of like, you know that you're on a cruise ship, so they can't get off anywhere, but you also have to remember that there are a ton of people on this cruise ship, people you don't know from all walks of life, and you have to be mindful of that you just can't let your guard down and say, well, go do what you want to do. There's a lot going on, it's a lot of people drinking and stuff like that. So he met a good group of friends and they would play and go do some activities and stuff like that. But I just wish from a parent that there was more activities and things to do that kept them wanting to stay at the teen club.
Now, I would say this, that Chase did mention, because again, he had firsthand experience of the teens club. He was explaining that when they did have things going on, there were workers at the different stations, of course, around the boat, different decks and such, which was cool. And they did have different tournaments and stuff like knockout, dodgeball, and soccer on the main court and such like that. But again, it would have to be something that kept the interest of teens, because again, that's a really big range from 13 to 18
17.
Or 17.
Yeah, and that's a big range.
That's a big range. So big range of just experience
and maturity and experience.
Yeah.
So I wish that there was something in between for that, like 13 to 15 and then 17 to 18, something like that, because when you're putting a 13-year-old with an 18-year-old, that's kind of a lot going on.
Yeah, it's kind of different. So I mean, for the teens club portion, I mean, just for what our experience is, really not that great.
No,
it was okay. Even from our kids' perspective, he was like, it was okay.
He had a ball, like
with his friends
and hanging out. He had a ball, but we also made sure, like, there was teens, they have the freedom to be out until midnight. For us, we were like,
yeah.
Nah.
So I would say, for me, I would say teens club, I give it a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, 3 out of 10.
But for like the kids club, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, hands down. All right, activities,
Yes.
things to do on the boat. We did flow rider, zip line, not ATV, sorry.
Can you imagine?
rock wall. There's ice skating. There is a game room, but you pay for that.
Yeah.
All the other things are free.
The Abyss. Don't forget about the Abyss.
Abyss, yeah. There's water slides. There are pools. There, what else? Golf, miniature golf. So there's tons to do on there. So you won't get bored. When you first get on the cruise ship, I will say to go to these places like Flow Rider and the zip line and go ahead and sign the waiver right away.
Yeah.
Get that out of the way, get your wristband, because you need that to be able to do those activities. They are included, but you have to have that.
Yeah. Now with the zip line, I would say that we did not have the opportunity to do that, because with the zip line, you do have to wear sneakers. You do have to have a shirt on.
And it's by the pool. So
and it was by the pool. We were like, okay, we'll come back to it.
And every time we would come back, we're like,
I have Crocs on. You can't do it in Crocs.
But they did the rock wall and stuff like that. How was the rock wall?
The rock wall was a lot of fun. I would say now there was a little wait for the rock wall, and I think we did it on a sea day. So that's expected. But the rock wall does open up different times during the day, and they had like a night rock wall that we saw people up there. So you kind of just watch your app or just watch your cruise. I guess it's called a navigator, if I'm not mistaken. And from there you could figure out when you could pop in. But the rock wall, it was challenging. I went up and I almost got to the top, but those things disappear when you get up high. I was like, there's nothing to grab onto. So and it is a different experience, because you are really high up there. And when you look back, you just see nothing but water. You're like,
and then I will say for Chase with the flow rider, because you didn't do flow rider,
I did not do flow rider.
Flow rider, try to do again the first day. Try to make sure you go ahead and do that first day, because you're going to be able to get on. Other than that, sea days, it's going to be a wait. So I think he waited about like 45 minutes in line. There's 2 lanes that you can do. But what's nice about it is they put a stopwatch on for each person, and the attendant is like starts it as soon as you start, so everybody gets a fair amount of time. So I will say that was cool.
Now the one thing about Flow Rider too to say is that Flow Rider, in my experience here on the Wonder of the Seas, there were different criteria that you needed, like to do like the stand, because you got a blue band if you're only gonna do like lay flat and things like that, and I think you got a blue and white band, or if it's a white band if you wanted to stand.
I think it was a gold band.
Or a gold band. So, and you had to be approved for that. Now when we went on the Symphony of the Seas about 2 years ago,
and even Oasis,
Odyssey, the Odyssey of the Seas, we did Flow Rider, and the requirements were not as stringent, meaning you had to just like pretty much like kind of click through your waiver. This time you actually had to sit and watch an entire video, and the attendant had to see you watch the video, and it had to go straight across. There was no zipping across or even skimming across, and then it would check. And then you actually had to do like kind of like a yoga test. That's what it seemed like, and he had to physically see you do all the things that he's mimicking. You had to mimic him and make sure that you could do that before you got your band. So that's something to just keep in mind when you're signing up. You're gonna have to take a little bit more time, and you do have to pass these tests. So that was one thing that I noticed on the Wonder versus the other.
Yeah, and that's why we say on the first day, wear your swim clothes, go ahead and sign those waivers. Go ahead and get on the slides and stuff like that as soon as you get on a cruise ship, because then that's gonna be the best time. The lines are not long because everybody heads to Windjammer to eat, so you'll be able to get on a lot more and do a lot more of the activities. I felt like there was enough activities to keep you entertained, so that was good. There was enough shows to keep you entertained. They had a casino. I liked that there was 2 parts. There was a smoking part and a non-smoking part, so you never felt like you had to stay in one or the other. Like you could stay in the casino and on the non-smoking part without feeling like I can't breathe. And you definitely noticed when you crossed over.
And what the activities itself, just like Brizette mentioned, it was a ton, and it was a big boat, and there were a lot of people on the boat, but at no point did I feel like I can't even do this because the line is so long. It was like wrapped outside. That was never the case because there was always something going on somewhere.
Or even to midnight. There was always like a midnight party or something happening in the promenade. There's always going to be like a show or something going on.
Or sitting in the Central Park. There's always
someone's playing something.
So,
and that I like that because it's something for everybody. So what's nice about a cruise is you make it what you want it to be. Like we were tired this cruise, so a lot of times like,
I don't want to go back to the room.
I'm tired, and we were just exhausted.
Let's go sit in Central Park.
So I was like, dang, we're getting old.
Yeah, we are.
So that was pretty cool. So for activities, I give it like a 8 out of 10.
No, I'm gonna give it like a strong 9 out of 10 because it's a bigger boat, and they really packed it with things. There's a lot of things. At no point did you ever feel like I didn't feel. Actually, the kids, I didn't even hear it from them saying, I'm bored.
Yeah. I think I said like a 8 out of 10 because I like the Odyssey. Was it Odyssey?
Oh, the Odyssey of the Seas.
I like the Odyssey of the Seas with the bumper cars and those things a little bit better because even some of the things like ice skating, you had to make sure that you wore long pants, long shirts. And the weights for some of those things, it was never, like you have to do it before you get on the ship for some of those activities. And if you don't, then you don't get a chance to do it. That's kind of like, but anywho, let's go on. Would we go again?
Would we go
on the Wonder of the Seas?
Of the Seas. Oh, that's a good question. So, and today, again, just kind of recapping it, the Wonder of the Seas set sail in 2022, and this is roughly 2025, moving on. Would I go on again? I think I would, number one, check for a different room. Maybe, just maybe, there's a bigger room, maybe a bigger balcony room that would kind of like accommodate those issues that I had. But for me, I think I would not go again. I would probably look towards one of the newer ships.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was like, he's going to say he would go again. And I'm going to have to say,
I would
we're going on different cruises.
And especially one thing that we like doing is going to Next Cruise. And Next Cruise, you were able to like view and see the different cruises. Even when we got back, we went to the Royal Caribbean website and was able to view like things like the Icon and such
and
like
Utopia
that.
And stuff like that. We were like, okay. Because the thing we noticed that Symphony and this one were the exact same ship.
They're exactly the same. Yeah.
Like, so you can close your eyes and see everything the same thing. You know, it's just the room was better on this one than Symphony. And it was like the ship was nicer because it was newer. Yeah. But the exact same ship, the exact same activities, down to even the exact same water show for the second water show.
Oh, yeah. It was. We were like, wait a minute. We saw this one. That's Michael Jackson playing back there.
Exactly. So, some of the things we were like, so I wouldn't go again on this one. I would wait for a newer one to come out. But if you haven't been on it, we definitely say check it out. Yeah. But for me, I'm a pass because I like the newer, the better. I feel like now it's been worn out. It already needs to be renovated, the rooms, as far as the carpet and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this.
Hopefully,
if you're going again, if you're on a cruise ship, go to Next Cruise Ship. Go ahead and put your $200 deposit down. That secures your spot instead of getting off the ship and saying, you know what, I want to go on the cruise and having to pay $1,000. Go ahead and just pay $200, and then you have a couple of months to decide which one you want to go on. You book that and you still make your payments, and then you have a year to pay that off.
Yeah, and that's the promotion that they're running right now.
And it's always last time was $100.
It was $100. Now it's $2. But again, just watch out for your emails, especially if you're on Royal Caribbean. There's always going to be emails, and if you're not getting your emails, check your spam folder because I believe you probably have 40 in there right now.
So just if you're going on a cruise, we're gonna link all of the excursions that we went on, how you can save money there. You don't have to book the excursions through the cruise ship. We're gonna link the perfect day, Coco Cay, what we did there, how you don't have to go to the water park to have an amazing time, and then every activity that we did. We love cruising, we love traveling, so we hope you enjoyed this video, and we hope you like, subscribe, and share with someone who's thinking about going on a cruise.
Yeah, because
maybe they might change their mind and say, you know what, let's go on Utopia, or you know what, let's go on the Wonder, because we haven't been on one of these yet. So hope you enjoyed.
All right, guys, till next one.
Thanks so much for watching this segment of La Pointe Life. If you want to watch the full episode, click this box below. And if you want to see more of our podcasts or just family-friendly content,
like travel adventures, restaurant and activities, traveling with kids, or just ways to get outside of your neighborhood and see more, make sure you visit our full gallery here at La Pointe Life on YouTube. Catch you guys on the next one.